Right now, President Trump speaks after the U.S. military strikes 3 Iranian nuclear sites. His message to the nation and the world.
And it is still a hot one across southern Wisconsin. As we kick off the 10 o'clock hour, here's a current look at what it feels like outside, how hot Sunday will be in the full forecast.
And we're following how hundreds of parade goers navigate the heat as they celebrate Juneteenth. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. President Trump announced earlier this evening that the United States carried out a, quote, very successful attack on several nuclear sites in Iran. We just heard him address the nation, where the president posted on social media that military planes dropped bombs on 3 sites, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Fordow was the primary target because this nuclear site is buried deep below the ground. Trump said all of the U.S. planes are now outside Iran's airspace, and he congratulated the military teams, calling them great American warriors. The military action came just a day after the president said he was giving Iran 2 weeks to negotiate an end to its nuclear program. But instead, the U.S. struck the nuclear sites to support Israel, who launched an attack last week to eliminate Tehran's alleged nuclear capabilities.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
And reaction is pouring in on both sides of the aisle here in Wisconsin. Democratic State Representative Mark Pocan releasing a statement on the strikes saying, quote, Donald Trump just bombed Iran without any authorization from Congress. Congress must pass Representative Thomas Massey's war powers resolution to block Trump from dragging the U.S. into an unconstitutional war in the Middle East. And Republican Senator Ron Johnson is expressing support for the president, saying, quote, Iran has been at war with the U.S. since 1979. They are the largest state sponsor of the terrorism. I agree with President Trump that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Now let's get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, it's been pretty warm in southern Wisconsin.
To say the least, we got into the low 90s today, but at times it felt like we were in the low 100s. And even now it still feels like we're in those low 90s in the Dells, Madison, Lone Rock, feeling like 92 degrees. Still feels like it's almost 100 in Kenosha. It feels like it's 98 there. And we're going to continue to sit underneath not only these hot temperatures overnight, but as we go into your Sunday as well. That's why we continue to sit underneath that heat advisory until 7 p.m. on Monday. Milwaukee, Kenosha, and Racine counties, they're underneath an extreme heat warning until 7 p.m. on Monday as well. And then we turn our attention over there to Monday. That's when we could also be dealing with the potential for some severe weather as we look to Monday evening and overnight. We have a marginal and slight risk for severe weather. So what does that mean in terms of possibility of severe thunderstorms? We're looking at an isolated threat in the green. That's here, the marginal risk. And then we look at in the yellow, that's the slight risk for severe weather. And that would mean maybe some scattered severe thunderstorms. We'll talk about timing and threats as well as a rainy week ahead in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Madison police are searching for a suspect who broke into a business last night on the city's southwest side. Police say it happened right before 11 p.m. at a business on Raymond Road. The business was closed at the time of the burglary, and police confirmed some computer tablets were stolen. When officers arrived on the scene, the suspect had already left. Police say the suspect appeared to have entered by breaking a window. The suspect has not been located, and there is no other information available at this time. A sailboat capsized near Picnic Point Saturday afternoon. The Madison Fire Department confirmed to News 3 Now this occurred a quarter-mile east of Picnic Point around 3 p.m. and the area was cleared shortly after. 2 people were on the boat. It is unknown if there were any injuries. A 53-year-old man is critically injured after being trapped underneath a skid steer Saturday. Multiple agencies responded to State Highway 60 in the town of Houstonford. The man was freed from the skid steer by the fire department personnel and was flown to the hospital with serious life-threatening injuries. Beloit police are seeking information and assistance in finding a missing boy whom officers want to safely reconnect with his guardians. His name is Qualik, and anyone with any information is asked to call the non-emergency line at 608-757-2244 or go through p3tips.com/482. One of Madison's most debated events rolled through downtown this afternoon. The 15th World Naked Bike Ride is meant as a celebration of body positivity and a protest against oil dependency. The event garnered scrutiny from lawmakers in 2023 after a 10-year-old girl joined the ride. A state assembly committee approved a pair of bills that year, barring minors from participating in the event and making it a crime to intentionally expose oneself. However, those measures did not become law.
You know, everybody notices because it's an annual thing. 50 to 75 of them bicycles that came by this year.
Expressing their personal freedom and
It's a way to get a little attention.
Pretty well-mannered crew. Nobody was like being a knucklehead or.
And just to clarify, you do not have to be naked to participate in the ride. Well, it's been a pretty busy and hot Saturday here in Madison in southern Wisconsin. Hundreds gathered to celebrate Juneteenth at Penn Park with a parade and festival. Our Tanisha Shaw talked to community members that walked the parade during a heat advisory.
Juneteenth festivities continue in Madison Saturday with a parade in the morning and a festival throughout the afternoon. This is all happening during an active heat advisory with temperatures in the low 90s.
Oh, it's toasty. Feel a little microwave-ish. Feel like we baking, but you're seeing a lot of good melanin shown, a lot of moistness going on.
It is humid, sticky, hot, very hot.
Feel that little trickle of sweat going down my back like butter on toast. It's hot.
Even though it's really hot and sunny today, everyone that I spoke to said they are willing to brace the heat to celebrate freedom.
A lot of times living in a place like Wisconsin, we can feel like a minority, but the truth is we're a majority, and this is what it feels like here.
Annie Weatherby Flowers is the founder of the Juneteenth celebration through Coogee Chagalia in Madison and said that weather does not stop African Americans from making a message.
Our ancestors, who we're celebrating today, worked in this heat all the time without relief. And so understanding, as my last one just worked, is to understand that this is how they survived and how they then to be blessed by Danny Glover, who played Kunta Kinte in Roots. So that was so, I think that warmed my heart.
In 2021, Juneteenth became the newest federally founded holiday, celebrating when troops freed the last slaves from chattel slavery in 1865 in Galveston, Texas. Saturday, people say that this holiday and the celebrations honor their ancestors.
Celebrating our ancestors, everything that it took for us to get to this moment.
This is the hopes and the dreams of the slaves, what we're celebrating here today.
Tanisha, thank you. And organizers share with News 3 they had extra drinks and medics on hand so that everyone could beat the heat. And if you're a lover of music, then today is the day for you. Make Music Madison was back today with music all over the city. Make Music Day happens all over the country in over 1,000 cities. Madison started taking part in the Day of Music back in 2013.
The last one was Me Va a Extrañar by Ricardo Montaner. That's the most hard song that I ever sing because because it has a lot of notes and that kind of stuff. So I feel very proud about me to sing that kind of songs.
Over 100 locations throughout the city had performances. Today, the Elks fraternal organization brought in members from across the state to see the support they've provided to the respite camp in Wahlbeek. The Elks have contributed more than $3 million to help the Wisconsin Easter Seals with the camp. The goal of the Camp Wahlbeek is to help people with disabilities try new things and make friends in an accessible, inclusive, and fun environment. The Elks contributions help build a dining hall and sleeping areas as well as continued maintenance like replacing roofs.
In the early 90s, we changed our focus and
got more involved in respite. It was something that we knew that there was a need in the area to allow individuals with special needs to have a camping experience, and then a time for their caregivers to have a break from that 24/7 responsibility.
The Elks also work to have a 5-year plan to continue to keep up with repairs like lighting and parking lot maintenance. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your First One forecast. Annalise Preston brings us the latest on the immigration saga in Los Angeles. We hear from the city's mayor after the break. And a judge blocks the Trump administration from trying to tie transportation funds to the state's cooperation with immigration efforts.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. Now to the immigration enforcement crackdown in California. There's new tensions between the Trump administration and local leaders. And now, Dodger fans are involved. CBS's Elise Preston is in Los Angeles.
The hundreds of millions of wasted taxpayers' dollars that were wasted in the performance of a stunt and an experiment in this city.
LA Mayor Karen Bass took aim at Vice President J.D. Vance. She accused the Trump administration of misusing the military to quell protests against immigration raids. Vance defended the deployment and blamed California's Democratic leaders for failing to support law enforcement.
If you let violent rioters burn great American cities to the ground, then of course we're going to send federal law enforcement in to protect the people.
4,800 federal troops are now in Los Angeles. The politics are spilling over onto the baseball field. This week, the LA Dodgers claim they blocked federal immigration agents from entering its stadium. The team has been striking out with many of its fans because of its extended silence on ICE raids. Nearly half of Dodgers fans are Latino. Singer Neza received backlash and praise for her Spanish rendition of the national anthem before last Saturday's game, despite the team's request that she sing in English.
I just felt like I needed to do it. Para mi gente.
Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
20 mostly Democratic-led states filed a lawsuit last month. It aimed to prevent the Department of Transportation from cutting off billions of dollars in funding if the states refuse to comply with federal immigration enforcement. President Donald Trump has used federal funding as leverage amid policy disagreements with different states and organizations. In his Thursday ruling, the judge granted a preliminary injunction. Many state attorneys general have sued the administration over issues ranging from the president's bid to end birthright citizenship to tariff policies. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your First One forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, it was pretty toasty today.
To say the least. I think the only redeeming quality, and I use that term very loosely, is the fact that it was breezy. Even though those winds were out of the south, it maybe did bring a little bit of relief, but they're going to continue those southerly winds, bring up warm temperatures and keep them around for not only overnight, but into Sunday and further into Sunday night and Monday as well. Some folks may not even slip out of the low 80s up near La Crosse this evening. Everybody else in those mid to upper 70s, which for context is where we would normally see our high temperatures top out for the day. We should be hanging out in those upper 50s to low 60s for overnight lows, and we'll eventually get there. But it's not going to happen at least through the end of the weekend. Still hot and humid Sunday and Monday, but Monday evening we could be watching our next chance for showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe, and those rain chances continue as we head into really throughout all of next week. Still sitting underneath that heat advisory until 7 p.m. on Monday. So throughout the day on Sunday, overnight, and into Monday, please make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. That's going to be the best thing to fight the heat and really scale back your chances of getting heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Wear lightweight and light colored clothing, not to mention make sure that your body is staying cool by taking breaks if you are outside during the daytime hours, but also make sure that your pets are staying cool and hydrated as well, especially at night. Those heat-related alerts stretching from lower portions of the Mississippi River Valley all the way north into northern Minnesota, and then all the way east, stretching from about Nebraska, the border of Nebraska and Colorado, all the way into Maine. So the heat is going to continue to push its its way eastward as we move over the next couple of days. We're still underneath a major to extreme risk from heat as we go into Sunday. And then for Monday, this is some good news. This has even changed from earlier today. We're now down to that moderate to even some minor risk from heat because we're going to watch as our next front moves on in. It's a weak cold front, but a cold front nonetheless. It's going to be bringing with it the chance for showers and thunderstorms out of northwestern Wisconsin as we go into Monday afternoon. By the late afternoon, early evening hours, it will be overhead. It is a weaker cold front, I should say, because back behind it, temperatures are in the 80s. So as this cold front makes its way into our warm temperatures, it might not be warm enough for those showers and thunderstorms to form. I explained all about that in our latest Beyond the Barometer. It has to do with the atmospheric cap, which we've talked about, as well as convective temperature. But that front, because it is weak, it gets lost in the atmosphere. It really just kind of fizzles out, if you will, and becomes stationary. And stationary fronts act as still an area where we could still see showers and thunderstorms develop. Also, fronts help pull in new systems. So it's going to pull in a couple of systems out of the Rockies, which will bring us those rain chances as we head over the next 7 days. Anybody in the blue, that's a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. In the purple, that's 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. We could see some isolated spots of nearly 4 inches of rain over the next 7 days. So some beneficial rain is on the way. Could stand to see that a little bit further south, but this happens over 7 days. So I don't think many moderate or even major flooding concerns are going to be out there, but some ponding and certainly some minor flooding could become an issue later in the week after the ground has become very saturated. Tomorrow, no rain. It's going to be pretty much like what we experienced today, but maybe slightly warmer in those low to mid 90s. There's a look at that 10-day forecast. Low to mid 90s on Monday, showers and thunderstorms in the evening, and then we're back into the 80s with daily chances for showers and thunderstorms. I know y'all golfed today. You're going to do it again tomorrow?
Yeah, to be honest,
it's going to rain next week.
I didn't really look enough at the forecast. I was like, it's so hot, and it was.
Yeah.
This is that odd time of the year where not only do you have to like keep the shorts on you, but you also have to keep the umbrella. So it's like a weird like conundrum. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But
just get a little hat with an umbrella on it.
There you go. There you go.
But Andrew, what do we have coming up in sports?
Yeah, a big night at the Duck Pond. In fact, a dazzling night at the Duck Pond. How their southpaw starting pitcher shoved his way into history. Next on News 3 Now. The Madison Mallards are in their 25th season in action and have played roughly 1,800 games in their franchise's history. But only once has a Mallard tossed a solo no-hitter. But tonight at the Duck Pond, history was revised by the sword of a southpaw named Isaac Milburn, trying to finish off that no-hitter. Yes, you heard that right. A no-hitter. He gets it done. Just the second solo no-hitter in Mallard's franchise history, and 2 walks shy of a perfect game. Have yourself a night, Mr. Milburn. You earned it. The Brewers have been as hot as the weather outside, looking to win their 5th in their last 7 against the Twins today, who couldn't get out of their own way. Scoreless in the first, and the Minnesota catcher Ryan Jeffers sails a throw into the outfield, and the Crew take an early lead. And later, Isaac Collins, a Twin Cities native, finishes off his hometown team with some help from the Twins. A liner to left that couldn't be corralled as the Brewers beat up on the Twins again, winning it 9-0. Staying in the big leagues for a bit because Drake Baldwin, Madison's own, who is one of the favorites to win the NL Rookie of the Year award, keeps proving why. He's one of 2 graduates of Madison West to ever reach MLB, and he hits a 3-run homer, propelling his Braves to a win. To the pitch we go, where Madison West, how about that, looking to take the state soccer crown against Muskego, but the Regents would have some work to do. Down 1-0 in the second half, and Elsie Watson strikes a shot over the keeper for the equalizer. That would mark Watson's 2nd game-tying goal in the state tournament. This one would head to penalties, where the Warriors of Muskego would close it out, marking their 4th straight state girls soccer title, leaving Madison West as the Division I runner-up. More state soccer, Edgewood playing Catholic Memorial in the Division III championship, trailing 3-1 in the second half, and Lauren Mettenauer scores her second goal of the day, getting her squad within one in a battle of the Crusaders. But ultimately, Catholic Memorial comes out on top. They win the state title, 4-2 the score. And we finish on the basketball floor with the best two words in sports, Game 7. Tomorrow, the NBA Finals heads to a winner-take-all for the first time since 2016. And Oshkosh native Tyrese Halliburton is just trying to take it all in.
Just fully focused on Game 7, and I'm trying to take it just a moment at a time, really enjoying what we're doing and understanding, like, this is, going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest game most of us ever play in our lives.
And, of course, Tyrese Halliburton, no stranger to the moment. We know that. He did it at the Cole Center when he was in high school at Oshkosh North and the state championships there. Did it in college at Iowa State. Has had no shortage of doing that in these playoffs. And, man, am I excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, to say that anybody had picked the Indiana Pacers to make it this far, would be relatively disingenuous. I mean, I'm hoping just for a good game. I have no horse in this race.
Absolutely. We're going to have our eyes glued to it. There's no question about that.
Most definitely. All right, well, sounds good. Andrew, a final check of your first wind forecast is coming up when we return. Drew and I went out to the farmer's market, and while we were there, we actually went out and got like some smoothies because it was super hot, as you well know.
Yeah, it was toasty.
And oddly enough, at the time when we purchased them, we didn't know that today is World Smoothie Day.
Had no clue.
So I think today was like kind of destined.
Happenstance.
Yeah, I know. It's like
flavor of your smoothie.
I had strawberries, mangoes, and bananas, I want to say, in mine.
In full transparency, it was like an acai bowl for me, but I had a smoothie earlier this morning, like I do every morning, so I always celebrate National Smoothie Day every day.
Oh, so it's just like...
Yeah,
extra it's just special. Another day for
when
you.
Everybody says Thanksgiving is every day.
Yeah, it's like,
sentiment. What's your go-to combo?
Strawberries, mangoes, and pineapple.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I can dig it. Well, we're definitely going to need a few more over the next couple days. What should we expect?
It's going to be another hot one tomorrow. Waking up at 7 a.m., 80 degrees. We're in the 90s by the late morning, and we're hanging out in the mid-90s by the afternoon. Expect another day feeling like we're in the low 100s. That continues into Monday, but we will see some evening showers and thunderstorms with the rain chances continuing throughout next week.
Sounds good. Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.